Hey, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. Thank you for joining me. Yeah, that's morning. Your days are off to a good start. Your days are off to a good start. Hope so. So yeah, how's everyone doing? How's it going in your town? Oh, call me Buka. Good morning, Frank. The Frank. Nice to have you here. Thanks for stopping by. Are you an artist or an art enthusiast? Artist. Oh, awesome. What kind of what fields do you usually work in? Is it like publication, concepts, comics, album covers, or are you learning and hoping to work in certain industries? Learning. Everybody's a learner, myself included. You just draw for fun. Hey, welcome, Panda Kilima. So you just draw for fun. Yeah, art for fun sounds nice. You need to take yourself too seriously. Harmony, thank you very much. Are you an artist yourself, or you just happen to see this live and just check it out? Let's try another brush. Or try. Merchants of folklore. Good morning. It's morning here, so I'm not sure what time of the day it is at your end. But yeah, welcome, welcome. Art Ozaru. Good morning. Olorun. Welcome. Also, if I hear say Picasso could never. But yeah, thanks, bro. Thanks for showing up. Oh. Who is Michelangelo? Thank you, Drew. Thanks so much. Thank you. Sure, Baba. Thanks so much. All the people that are not Nigerians here, they'll just be wondering. They won't understand that you're whining. Eh? Be like, what's this guy talking about? Sure, and come and spend that artish money on me. Wow. Don't worry, bro. When we make the money, I could have your number, so I'll buzz you when we make the money. Hmm? Okay, let me start the serious work. Oh, okay, let me finish this part. The playlist, it's you can just type. I can send you a link actually, because it's like a 1 hour ish kind of stuff on YouTube. So I can send you the link. But basically anything coffee related, just like coffee shop background music, basically. So the idea is I know there's a coffee shop I used to go to in Lagos, so this is the kind of music they play. So just type anything like coffee shop background music on YouTube, and you'll get something. You get a lot of options. But I had to specifically search for the one that doesn't have copyright. If not, Instagram will punish me, and YouTube and Facebook. But I'll send the link, Sha. I'll send the link after this. Alrighty. So the plan for today is to use this pose to create a character, and The character will be inspired by Egyptian outfits, right? So I'll use this pose. Am I screen sharing? Yeah, so I'll use this pose, right? And most of the costume design will be derived from this Egyptian. Yeah, 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 sure. Thank Israel. I really appreciate you for showing up. I know that you just dropped by. Thanks so much, bro. Yeah, so yeah, yeah, yeah. So the character's design and outfit will be based on this Egyptian princess, I guess. So, and of course, embellished with some fantasy elements. So, yeah, because I really like this pose. It looks so regal, so haughty, like she's looking down at you, like who is disturbing me there, you know? So I like that regalness in her pose. Um, I still want to use this pose for something else, so I don't know whether I'll do it on a live stream. Well, that'll be sometime later in the future. So, but this could take us a while. So, and then I want to add a bit of background, but that might not be in the stream. Um, I think the stream will just focus on getting the character right. And let's see what we can do between today and Monday, possibly Thursday. So, sorry, today and tomorrow, or possibly Thursday. So, yeah, let's get to it. Yeah, shapes. No, but not yet, actually. This one is more about lines now. Lines. To capture the flow, right? So there's a lot of curved lines and then there's a lot of straight lines to understand where to place the shapes. So, for example, I can see. Oh, okay. My reference isn't really showing. Yeah. So, for example, I can see where a chest area is. Uh, I'm focusing on the fact that there's two opposing lines. Okay, going this way, this way. Zooming a bit, right? And then there's lines here, lines here, lines here. So currently I'm thinking of lines for now before I start placing in the forms. I don't like calling them shapes because shapes is a totally different thing. So I prefer to call them forms at this point. There's a point where shapes come into play, but not now. Or um, for my specific technique of doing things, not now. No, no. Because I know other artists that rely on shapes a lot. So There's just tons and tons of techniques. Okay, Christian Okunade. Uh, do you create a new layer for every color and light effect? Yes, yes. At the beginning, I'll do that. But at the final stages, I will flatten everything in one layer and just paint over everything. Yeah. But it depends on the style we're talking about. But most times, at the beginning, I'll use that. I'll use new layers for shadow, for light, maybe for reflected light, maybe for you know all kinds of things. Then at the later parts, I'll now flatten it and paint over everything. Currently, I'm trying to measure the distances that my reference is showing me. So, for example, my reference shows me that the hand stops. There's space between the hand and this part of the thigh. You know, of course, the thigh is what I'm seeing in my mind beneath her skirt. So that's a place of form, but not yet. Okay, and if she's looking this way, yeah. So this is where forms start playing a role. So I'm thinking of cylinders, spheres, you know, and mostly spheres. I mean, mostly cylinders in when you're drawing the human body, and maybe like manipulated forms, like manipulated cubes, you know. Yes, I want to beat it now. I need to be patient on this. Turn that head some more. JJ Spice. Welcome, JJ Spice. The Oshodi in Oshodi. It's been a while though. I think it's been a while. Has it been a while? Or have you been around and I just didn't notice? I know it has been a while. Actually. If your name had come up, I would have remembered. Good morning. How are you? How's it been? So let me put a little bit of an indicator of perspective here, just to help me out. Yeah, it has been a while. I hope you're well. Yes, I am splendid. I'm splendid. One of my biggest tip for finding the perspective, finding a cylinder in perspective, especially when drawing the human form, is to, you know, draw circles within it, to try to figure it out. You know. So if it's supposed to be going inside, and draw a circle within it, right? If the hand is like this, then you want to find it. Start drawing circles within it. So in your mind, as you're drawing circles within it, you're feeling around the form. You're feeling the inside, you know. So, because I think that's one of the keys to drawing human anatomy is understanding cylinders as well as possible. Rasheti, good morning. See, first storm, good morning. Okay, so we have a good pose, I believe. Let me flip it. Yeah, it works. Oops. Okay, so let me get our hand. Hi, Tifesdom, good morning. You're free to introduce yourself to us. Are you an artist or an enthusiast? Getting carried away. I use references, please. Humans use references. It's only gods that don't. And of course, there are still gods among us, so, but I use references. Anybody who wants to learn more about character creation, Like, what are the list of things? Uh, 1 second, let me get a question better. Okay, so what do you think should be the roadmap of anybody that wants to learn more about character creation? Like, what are the list of things one should learn? Thanks. Mm, character creation. First of all, I want to clarify. I think what you mean is character design because that's the lingo I know it's called in the entertainment industry and all that. So, roadmap. Obviously, I'm primarily anatomy, okay, human anatomy, because most characters are humans, right? Except you want to go specifically into creature design, then most likely the major thing you'll be learning is uh, animal anatomy, right? So, well, for character design, right, for human beings, it's human anatomy. Oops, I just spotted an error in this drawing. You know, it's human anatomy that is one of your, strongest tools, right? Second thing will probably be drapery. Third thing, and basically what I'm working from, it's not like I have the roadmap in my head. It's more or less the things that make up character design, that makes a good character, right? That a good working character will need, in his arsenal. So anatomy is a good one. Let me write that down. Drapery is another good one. All right. Then you want to have a good understanding of cultures, right? Um, Cultures basically anatomy, because human beings make up cultures, and whatever they wear, what they look like is influenced by their culture. Okay, but that one is more abstract, but it's no less important, even though it's an abstract study. Then materials basically, how to render materials, because a character will be wearing a combination of different materials. So, for example, this is probably cotton, right? This is probably gold line something, right? This is wooden, right? This is a bracelet that is metallic, right? Um, and even our skin too is a material. So you have to learn the differences between materials, how they work under light, and all that. Then one thing I think is totally underrated in our industry is just people call it shading, learning to shade, but I like to call it form theory. I think it's fundamental. So form theory. So I didn't come up with this. It's one of the people I really look up to as a teacher. Okay. Her name is Istebrak, right? So I know she coined this phrase, form theory. So it's more or less like studying form so that you can know how to shade it better when it's combined on the body. You understand? So I think this is a decent enough roadmap. Any other thing from here is just more or less going very, very deep. But this is like a decent basic roadmap, you know. Does that make sense, Amula? Silver Storm, a little bit of both. Okay, a little bit of an artist and an art enthusiast. Just that I have not practiced in so long. Okay, that's cool. Um, would you like to practice more? Are you looking forward to tips on how to squeeze time to do some more practice beside other things you do? Because I'm sure everybody likes drawing. It's very, very rewarding. Liz Agbola, I see you. Good morning. And Mama Juliet, good morning. Okay, since we have this, let me frame this properly. Yeah, so good resources for all these things. Okay. Says I actually want to learn, but YouTube has confused me. I even bought a small tab, but got frustrated. Hey, Chilo, how long did it take? How long did you use the tab for before you felt frustrated? I want to tell you a story, so I want to know that first before I tell my story of when I got my first tab. When I graduated from mouse to tab. Okay, so YouTube has confused you. I think I understand the sentiment. Um, yeah, I think I understand, especially because like there's so much. 1 month, okay. Well, that's fair enough for getting frustrated with the tab. So first of all, about the YouTube thing, I think I understand because there's so much information right now, like on YouTube. Um, like literally you can learn it for free. It's just that it's not organized for free. Okay, so most of the good courses out there, I know that they are teaching basically the same thing on YouTube. It's just that it's well structured, well organized, and of course there's a good feedback system. So so I understand the feeling, but I mean, because when I started out, there weren't so many tutorials on YouTube. There were tutorials, they were just coming up, but they weren't as much as now. Right now, it's as if it's as tripled or quadrupled, you know. So at least I could feel my way around everything and know, oh, this is the next step, this is the next step, this is the next step. So I understand, but man, I don't think, I think there's still a way around it, basically. It's just like, of course, the whole roadmap we just discussed now and knowing, oh, which one do I really want to lean into? Then you'll be able to find out trusted voices in those specific areas, right? Um, I'm looking for references on my other screen, guys, so I've not stopped the drawing. I'm just trying to plan this out a bit more. But yeah, as for the tablet, I also understand that um my when I first got mine, before I used to work on just you know just a mouse, right? I'll draw on paper, then scan to the computer, and then use a mouse to paint the drawings. Okay, so I think before I got the tablet, I'd already watched like plenty painting videos. I already had massive expectations of, oh, I'm going to paint the whole world when this tab comes. You get, and it was a very small Wacom bamboo tab. Um, but sadly, of course, inevitably, I got my rude awakening that uh, having a tab doesn't mean the end of your work, as it were. So getting the tab is just one half of the because getting the tab just means that, oh, you have to pause learning to draw and now learn to use the tab. When you are done with learning to use the tab, you now have to resume back to you're not alone. It sounds like everybody. So when you are done learning how to draw, you now have to go back. I mean, sorry, learning how to use the tab. You now have to resume your learning how to draw. Okay. So yeah, how to use the tab can be. But can you phrase any frustration you're currently having with the tab? If I can help out with that. silky smoothie lines on the tab. How do you do that? Mm, I'm not sure what you mean now. Because do you mean the thick to thin? Or I'm really not sure what you mean though. Because it could be the brush. But then I don't think you are close enough to see any particular texture the brush is making. So unless there's a setting on your tab you've not yet figured out, and maybe that could be the problem. Because most of the problems I realized I had was problems with not understanding Photoshop enough or not understanding my tablet's driver enough. You understand? After sorting some of those problems out, I realized that the tab wasn't the enemy. Well, my lines aren't that smooth as compared to paper. Then I tried to learn painting and it made things worse. Of course, drawing is the foundation. I believe that, in my own opinion, drawing is the foundation of painting, especially for these kind of paintings. I'm not talking about abstract stuff. Of course the tablet thing it can't be as good as paper yet. You know, your tab doesn't have a screen like mine. Okay, yeah. So it can't be as good as paper yet. So it will definitely have some stiffness. Um, because I know it took me like 2 months to get used to drawing on, and even at that self, my drawing on tab still sucked for a long time before I got to a point where I enjoyed it. I know one of the things that helped me was Clip Studio's brush engine was very forgiving, very very good in that. It just felt good. It felt nice. Your cursor didn't have to be too tiny before you get tiny marks. That's one of the things I know Clip Studio helped achieve. So, for example, if I was using my screenless tab right now, I would be drawing more on Clip Studio. You know, but based on the fact that this tab has a screen and all that, it affords me that luxury. Um, um, you know, that's why I'm using Photoshop. Oh boy. I'd like to add lines to my works, but it's just not looking so good. They are not straight like it usually is on Procreate. Well, Procreate tends to look better for drawings. Um, but then again, it could just be the brush. So for example, maybe your hand is wobbly, right? Um, so what you need is more of a stabilization. So on Photoshop they call it smoothing, depending on the version you're using. So you can increase the smoothing a bit to slow down your wobbliness. Um, but I don't employ it like that because I like my hand, except when I'm inking comic books, which is a different thing. But for this, I need my hand to feel as natural as possible. The Eclipse Studio has what's it called? Stabilization. You understand? So it could be that, you know. And then again, it really could be your hand. There's some things you've not yet mastered. Really, that's another thing you want to make room for that. It could be that I've not mastered how to control my hand, how to control my line work. You know, because for all you care, you and I can use the same brush. You get, um, but then it will still result differently. Now, of course, you can say, "Oh, it's better than me" or whatever, but it's because I've mastered the way I press. I tend to press the pencil, right? Um, so I have a higher self-awareness. So for example, if I'm drawing on like maybe a student's computer, right, or a student's tablet, just to show him or her something, I will I'll already notice the difference that there's something off, and I'll know exactly what it is when I'm on his or her, um, you know, gadgets because I'm used to how I know how I use the pencil and the tablet pen. So do I press it too light or too hard? Do I need a certain degree of lightness before I get big lines or small lines? You understand? So there's that place of your own self-awareness, right? And which comes with time, you know. So it's something we can't skip. Comes with time and more practice, you know. Tifa Storm, you say real. I don't even know how to pronounce this person's name. Real. Please, did I spell your name? I'm sorry. Tifa Storm, would you advise I get an iPad? If you have the budget for it, please go ahead. If you don't have the budget for it, I would advise. I don't know. See, it's really depends on you, because I want to make sure you have a device that gets you commissions first before, you know. First of all, like, what do you want to use it for? You understand? So, because I know some people use only their iPad to work, and that's what they use for commission work and all that. You understand? So there's that. But there's some that you have the normal tablets, right? And and iPad isn't your priority yet financially. You understand? So there's that too. So it really depends on a lot of things. So, but me, I think it's a luxury thing. I don't think it's something that you get primarily that helps build you at the beginning stages of your career. I think it's more of a luxury. So, but I don't. I mean, no pressure. I don't think you should be pressured to get one. It's a good tool. It's a powerful tool, but no pressure. Your Photoshop will get you to some financial stability. Photoshop and Clip, financial stability before you start worrying about the iPad. Ellie, good morning. I don't know if you're still here. Yes, the time that goes into this, I have a long way to go. Yes, so yeah, that's I won't say sad truth, but I'll say catch 22 that most of us don't realize is that it takes time. Okay, that even if you are giving the theory, you know, in as you already noticed in YouTube videos and all that, and TikTok videos and IG reels, shortcuts, tips and tricks, you get there is still the place of the time you need to put in, your own time you need to put in, you know, because you can't understand. There are some things you won't understand except you have your own experience and your own mistakes. So the materials are majorly for theory. They are good for theory. They are good to tell you the theory of things, which is very important. But the place of your own practice, you just can't skip it. I have a feeling I've lost the pose. Lisbeth Hollander, good morning. Do I stream often? Yes, Mondays to Wednesdays. And this week is looking like our add Thursday, but for now, Mondays to Wednesdays, every week. 8 a.m. Nigerian time, GMT plus 1, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. And oh, this is already 9:12. Let me check the other channels, YouTube and Facebook. I hope I've not ignored somebody on YouTube. Udofia, good morning. Thank you for joining us on YouTube. Casey, good morning. Lozo Gozo, good morning. I hope you're having a splendid morning. Do you record your screen for YouTube? Do you mean this this session particularly, or these live stream sessions? Because yes, I'm literally on YouTube right now. Just type Twin Ajit Mobi. My screen is showing on YouTube now. I think I should be mentioning that here that if you want to see my screen properly, um, go to Twin Ajit Mobi on YouTube. Twin Ajit Mobi on YouTube. Okay, so now the face is. I want to dwell on this a bit more because I'm losing something. So you see how I'm spending so much time on the drawing, like because that's where everything rests on. You know, I've done so many paintings where underneath it the drawing is just terrible. You know, and then you find out after investing like 10 hours into a painting, and that's like very annoying. So, plus of course, I've just been more particular about my drawing this year as a personal goal. You know, so but drawing is super important for me for the style that I go for, right? Super important because it's not like heavily painterly style, you know, where you work with shapes and all that, you know, where um, some of the your favorite artists will probably just start with a block of shape, you know, and from there form the face and all that. I know one of my favorite artists does this for portraits, you know, and I have friends that are geniuses at this, but for my style, I don't do that. Okay, especially for the style I'm trying to go for, I want it to be repeatable. You know, I want it to be very streamlined and easy to edit. So that's one of the reasons why I favor drawing. One of the reasons. Arch Nerd, Oga Boss, good morning. Mwambu Masaka, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Good morning. Omoloru, I see you on YouTube. Says, so for this, you're not going to impose the portrait you made yesterday into this? No, 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 no way, no way. That's like missing a good chance to practice portraiture again and again and again. Of course, if this were a client project and I was on a tight timeline and all that, yeah, of course, definitely just copy and paste what we had there. But I mean, needs practice, so any chance I get to redo it, because even as I finished streaming yesterday, I saw mistakes and all that. So this is like a second chance for me. And this hairstyle, yes, I know it's an Egyptian thing, so I want the Egyptianness to show through, right? Yo, Ahmed, thanks so much, bro. Thank you so much. You're showing up safe. I feel like I say I don't blow. But yeah, I appreciate. I saw that you guys are doing something in Port Harcourt, like another Comic Con, um, geek something, and I was so surprised that because I think another Comic Con just concluded there, and I didn't know there was another one brewing. Yep. So I think we're getting to a place where it starts to look okay. Um. So now here's I'm seeing proportional mistakes now. So the hand is feeling way too long, right? So I'm just going to shorten it a bit. And here is where you take advantage of digital, being a digital artist. Um, you can just correct things like that. Oops, what's going on here? Why is this looking off? I think our face is not chubby enough to express that she is chubby. Elvis, good morning. Theo Ho Igbu, good morning. I'm still going to draw over this one more time. That's how. That's how to get your training in. Just draw it over and over and over and over and over. Because at the end of the day, it will save me time when it's time to paint. Mm. Good morning. Good morning. Can feel free to introduce yourself. Are you an artist, a photographer, a 3D artist? Good morning. I'm a comic artist in the making. Good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Which comics do you admire? Which artists do you admire? Ofuegu Ujua. Hey God. Please, if I pronounce your name wrongly, I'm so sorry. Ofuegu Ujunwa. I'm learning character design, transitioning from graphic design to art. I guess you mean digital art. But yeah, that's cool. I do a bit of graphic design myself. It still has the way to play into your art, so good for you. You're coming into art with some advantages. Delvis, yeah, I was asking what comics do you like? Which ones do you, or what artists do you, which comic artists do you like? Art Godwin King, good morning. Ofoigu, have you decided the kind of, when you say digital art, have you decided the type of industry you want to be in, or what? Like digital art for what? Games, comics, animations? Because it's a wide space. Good morning, Art Godwin Chink. Good morning. Let's see how I can place the background. For now, children's book illustration, and hopefully in the near future, animation. Oh, that's nice. That means you want to be well versed in color theory, yeah, color theory, and then style, really stylizing things and all that. Good, good stuff. I think the best Nigerian comic is still Amadioha. Have you read it? Yeah, Amadioha is, I won't call it the best, but I think it was really good. It was really, really well done. it was really well done. I wish to see more of it actually, but it was well done. Um, the character looked interesting. I liked I like the fact that I had a daughter, so I could already see that um, this would be a good motivation for the character, right? So, but yeah, it was well done. Really love it. 2D illustrations. Awesome, awesome, awesome. If I may ask, which song is playing? This is just a background music um, from YouTube. So all I did was type coffee shop background music. Okay. So you find tons of free samples online. Coffee shop background music or cafe background music. So there you have it. Trying to figure out what I'll put in the background of the drawing right now. Will I put a structure that just suggests the whole Egyptian vibe? Yeah. It show the pyramids in the background. Yeah. Good idea. Pizza. Pizza Alves. Good morning or good day to you. Babaki Ajayi. Good morning. Okay, guys, I'm already changing plans. An idea came to mind. So let's make her holding a guide. Okay, she's holding, she has a guide that is glowing in her hands, right? And her facial expression has to change, so she has to be looking elsewhere. So she's outdoors, going somewhere, who knows where, and she has uh, the something that is guiding her here. I'll just make it glow, definitely. It has to glow. If it's not glowing, then there's nothing interesting happening here. So I'll make her look this way. Maybe the wind is rustling this way, right? So now for the background. Oh, okay. It's coming together now. I successfully spent 2 hours on this. Oh, that's what it's looking like. I'll spend 2 hours on this. So, so, good news. But the good news is I finally have a piece I want to finish. And this is like portfolio level type of stuff that I'm going to finish. So, I'm not sure I want this dark. Yeah. So let's do a version where it's bright. Let's do another version where everything is bright, where all things are bright and beautiful. Oops. Oh, I've not even saved this. What do I call this? What do I call this? But this would definitely be a finished piece. All right, so let's do another piece, another version of this that is as in daylight. Okay, blow it out. Mr. Uzoma, good morning. So let's do a version that is bright and let's see whether this works better. Then this glowing thing I wanted to glow can't glow again since it's daytime now. Good morning, Chief. I'm about to leave this place. It's just that this sketch took more time than I expected. Golden concepts. Good morning. So the bright version is looking good. In fact, you joined over late because I was supposed to be out of here since 9 o'clock, but because I was trying to figure this out, I kept going and going and going. So I will soon be out of here actually. Oops. And I'm sure everybody has work to do. How do we make a fantastical element? I think that would be what I'll go and research on, off camera. Like what nice elements can I put? Yeah, the recording is on YouTube. It's going to be on YouTube. Just type Toyin Ajetomobi on YouTube. My channel is there. You can't miss it. My face is just there. So the recording is on YouTube. The recording is on Facebook, but you have a better chance to watch it on YouTube than on Facebook. Okay, dokes. So we'll do this thing brighter. So tomorrow will just be very very uh, clean drawing, clean painting. No, we can't finish painting tomorrow for sure. But the drawing will be refined tomorrow and more references to fill up the background and make it more interesting. Um, and then for sure research on what I can put in a hand. Probably an artifact, probably something like that. But yeah, thank you, Golden Concepts. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much, every other person that's had to hop off and is watching this recording. Yeah, so I appreciate you. Have a good one. Stay productive. Thanks.